What's up, y'all? Welcome back to MSM Audio. This is part 3 of 6 of the Machine Shortcut series. Let's get started. The first shortcut is how to link pad sounds together. Now, automatically, your mind should be thinking about the possibilities to be creative and come up with all sorts of combinations and explore and experiment in different ways to take your tracks to the next level and separate yourself and just come up with fresh new sounds. Now, I have a kit loaded here. I used this kit to create a song, an instrumental song called Into This World. And at the end of the song, I wanted to change the beat and fade it out. So let's take a listen to the sounds in this kit. Okay, now if you remember from the earlier tutorials, you'll notice the shift and mute or choke command takes those longer samples and cuts them immediately. Comes in really handy in terms of workflow. So I decided to link some of these sounds together and see what I could come up with, just experimenting and trying different things. So I decided on the kick and this lick combo sound. Okay, now to link them together, make sure you're in pad mode. This menu will show, and here it says link group. And if you tap the encoder, it shows that you can create 8 different link groups to combine different pad sounds. So I'm going to press my kick, make sure it's engaged and selected, put it into link group 1. I'm going to press the lick combo, put this into link group 1 as well. And now each time I engage the kick, the lick combo will be engaged as well, and vice versa. Well, actually, the lick combo didn't engage because if you look next to it, the mode is in receive. So you can change the mode of the pads in the group. Now with the kick, it's on send. So it's sending a signal to the lick combo to engage each time it's pressed, but the lick combo is in receive mode. So it's only receiving a signal from the sound that it's linked with and not sending a signal out. So if I change this to send, it's now going to send a signal to the kick to engage. Okay. And this is what I came up with to end my song. So, you can do so many different things and just come up with different sound combinations and, even come up with a new sound. There's so many different ways of self-expression for you to just be creative and try different things. So have fun and, take it there. Try something crazy. Try something different. You never know what you'll find or what you'll come across. Now, the second shortcut is the pin function. So let's say you're working with scenes or patterns or events. Press the button, doesn't stay engaged. So press and hold scene. You can press this button at the top left, white button on the top left, and it pins the mode. And you can also hold it, press the button on the top left again, unpins it. Same thing with pattern. You want to work in the pattern mode, hold pattern, press the white button on the top left, pins it. You want to unpin it. Same thing. Now, I have events pinned, so I'm actually going to unpin that. And just in terms of workflow, if you want to work in different modes, you can pin it, do what you have to do, unpin it, whatever your preference is. The third shortcut is a volume shortcut. Again, in terms of workflow, this is another shortcut that's really good. So let's say you have your pads here and you're working on a pattern, creating a pattern, and you notice, wait a minute, my snare's too loud. So instead of having to go into the mixer and adjust it that way, you can adjust it right here while you're playing your pads. What you do is press volume, and And make sure you're in pad mode or in plug-in mode. If you press and hold your pad and adjust the 4-directional encoder, you can see the volume being adjusted here. So in terms of workflow, another very useful shortcut. Now, the fourth one is an events shortcut or note shortcut. If you're working in pattern mode, right? So you have a pattern loaded and you want to make some adjustments to your events. So press and hold events, and you want to pin this. So you can pin it, and right next to it, you have a select button. Press select, brings up this menu, and tells you that you can select all of the notes or none of the notes, or if you come down to your pads, all of the notes that you're using in your pattern are now highlighted. So say I wanted to highlight my snare notes, I can hit the snare pad. It highlights all of my snare notes. And if you wanted to, let's say you felt like they were a bit out of place, you could hold shift and hit the nudge button left or right if you wanted to make those changes. What you could also do is if you look here at this menu, let's say you wanted to nudge all of the snare events except for the first two. You can change the start and ending of the adjusting length. So I'm going to change the start so that I can deselect the first two snare events. And as you can see, it deselects the first two snare events. Alternatively, you can come to the end and deselect the last two snare events if you don't want to change those. Okay. So again, in terms of workflow, if you want to work from the hardware, you can use these shortcuts and work directly from the hardware. You can make these changes in the software as well, but these are primarily hardware shortcuts, and you can make the changes straight from Maschine. Now, the fifth and final shortcut is the navigate shortcut. Now, let me load up a sound here. This is a sound from Prophet V, a synthesizer from Arturia, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. So let me load that up. Okay. Now, while this is loading, you know, if you know Prophet V, it has a number of parameters that you can adjust. And once this finishes loading, okay, just give it a second here. I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay, took a little longer than usual, but now that it's loaded, okay, so now I'm here in my sound mode, and you can see one of the parameters here, filter parameter. Now you can use these left and right arrows to scroll through. Okay. Now, if you want to move a little bit faster, you can use the navigate command. And what that does, you hold shift, hold navigate, and you want to pin it. That button on the top left pins the navigate command. Now, right now, my page navigation is engaged, so yours probably won't be engaged. So it'll probably look like this. So you pin navigate, press the page navigation, and if you look to your right, it has all of the parameter menus nicely organized for you. And the pads correspond to the parameter area that you want to adjust. So let's say I wanted to go to chorus delay. I would come to the corresponding pad, press it, and now you see that chorus delay is highlighted. I can unpin it. Now I can make my adjustment to the chorus parameters. If I want to go back, I pin navigate once again, shift navigate, pin it. Page navigation is already engaged. I have my organized menu again. Instead of having to shift all the way left or shift all the way right, everything's nice and neatly displayed in front of me. And let's say I want to go to oscillator A or oscillator B. Hit the corresponding pad. It's now highlighted. I can unpin it, and now I have oscillator A and oscillator B, and I can make the necessary adjustments. So again, in terms of workflow, these shortcuts will help move things along for you. In terms of creativity, it opens up, just endless possibilities for you to be creative, for you to, be self-expressive and new and fresh and come up with different sounds. And there's so many different things that you can do. So just have fun, and thank you guys for joining. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe. If you have anything to share with me, I am open as well, because I'm looking to improve as well. So anything you can share with me, we much appreciate it. See you guys on the next one.